Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Business School and the Black Wealth Bootcamp. I wanted to make a quick video before I head out. I'm gonna go get chicken and waffles. I know that's bad, but it's good. Anyway, I'm about to head on out to get some food, but I had to stop for a second and to talk to you real quick about my perception of what I see happening right now with the Supreme Court. In case you don't know, the bigots on the Supreme Court are about to chop affirmative action down. All the indicators say that they're going to vote against it. And basically, you're going to see the clock consistently roll back politically in terms of affirmative action and voting rights. Those are two things that are going to be kind of whittled away for African Americans. Now, here's the reason why the majority of black people are really not going to mobilize and fight back against this. Black people, we're just learning how to fight. We haven't always been fighters. We haven't always been organized. We haven't always been able to really channel our money and our resources in a way that are going to get things done. We're also not always as politically aware as we should be. For example, during the last several years when we had a black president, most black people were resistant to the idea of fighting for significant political change that affected black people and their families. You had some people that are advanced and progressive and enlightened, and they would understand that you could challenge a politician without hating him, right? But other people felt that if you loved Obama, you basically worship him and you do what he says and you don't question it. And if you question it, then you must be trying to attack him and you must be a hater, right? That's kind of what we got, right? Those extremes. And so what happened is we missed an opportunity. So the Democrats are going to come back and they're going to try to get your vote by basically telling you how racist the Republicans are, and if Donald Trump becomes president, it's going to be the end of the world, and that we're going to protect you. We're the best thing we got, which means basically we're the better pimp. Now, here's the thing. Whether Democrats or Republicans are in office is not going to really change the lives of black people all that much. We've seen both of them. They've all had multiple chances. Neither party has really done very much for black people. Also, one of the things that we learned about integration is that integration wasn't always the best thing for black people. Even though we needed desegregation, the integration, what it did was it sucked us in and watered us down and spread us out. And it was basically a huge amount of divide and conquer, because now many of us are highly dependent upon whites to get anything that we need. We need these white universities to get an education, or so we think. We need these white corporations to give us jobs, or so we think. We need white people to accept us for whether it comes to media or any sort of social acceptance that makes us feel good about ourselves, which ultimately leads us to be incredibly dependent. And we're also subject to kindness from white people that is only available if they decide they want to give it to us. So all these political gains that we picked up during the civil rights movement and all that stuff can be chopped up and rolled back anytime our host decides they're not going to give that to us anymore. So as we move into the next 50 years, we have to pick a more stable solution. The stable solution is not affirmative action. The stable solution is not based on politics. Politics plays a part, but politics is not the final solution. The final solution, really, a lot of it lies in wealth, and also how we educate each other and how we educate our children and how we educate our community. Two things black people have to do. Number one, we have to educate our own kids. Number two, we have to learn how to make our own money. And in fact, when you educate your kids, first thing you educate them on is you educate them on how to make their own money. And so basically, if you look at it like that, what we're kind of looking at is a situation where in 15 years, your child might not be able to get into the University of Texas. Well, where are they going to go to get an education? Now, they could go to another university, a different type of school or whatever that's more receptive. That's fine. But understand what education typically gives people when it comes to getting jobs. Most black people go to college to get a job. And to get that job, you get that certificate, that piece of paper, which is like an admission ticket into the economic system. Well, the economic system ultimately marginalizes and at the very best exploits black people by basically giving us jobs where we're severely underpaid, mistreated. Many of us don't get the jobs that we want. Black males especially get kind of pushed out of the system. So effectively what's happening is you're spending $100,000 getting a ticket for admission into a system that doesn't even want you, right? That it was built for somebody else. So you look at those institutions that connect through this system. We have corporations, and then we have a university system created by the white man, also by his ancestors. The white man created the corporations, and he said we need to create universities to educate people to come and work for the corporations, so we can give them these little tickets of admission so they can come and work for us. That's not really designed for you, and you have to really think about this system as you decide to enter into it, and how you're going to negotiate that, and how you're going to train your kids to prepare for that. Me personally, if I'm raising a son or a daughter right now, here's what I do. I talk to my child about possibly going to college. College ain't that bad. College isn't horrible. I'm not against college as long as it's reasonably priced. So if they can't get a scholarship to a nice university, then guess what? We're going to a state school, so we don't spend a whole lot of money. And that's only if you're choosing a field where you need a college degree in order to compete in that field. But even then, if the field does not have jobs available, you must question whether or not it makes sense to spend 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000, much of which will be debt, to get that certificate for that field if the job will not be available. The other alternative I would throw at my child, and this would be just as good in my mind, probably better, is I would say, well, why don't you spend 3 years just studying entrepreneurship intensely? Do things. You can do the Black Wealth Boot Camp if you want, but you can also do other programs out here. Do something where for 3 years your child is doing nothing but learning how to build businesses, how to be a serial entrepreneur, how to create their own jobs, how to make their own money. I guarantee you this much, two things with a child like that. Number one, he will be thoroughly educated, probably better than most college students, because a lot of college students go to college and they spend most of the time partying and chilling with their friends and all that. You can learn just as much outside of a university as you can inside the university. Much of the information is available online. Harvard University lectures are available online. Stanford University lectures are available online. I am a professor. I'm available online, not in a university, right? So that's the first thing. Second of all, your child will probably never be broke. They will, because they will learn how to see the world in a way where they can see value in the opportunities around them. There are generations and generations of white, Asian, Jewish families and black families too, where all they know how to do is learn how to create a job. They don't know nothing about renting a job. They don't know anything about this whole wait for the corporation to give me a job. Do you understand that that's only been around for maybe about a little over 100 years? Before that, people had to find a way to make a living. So when people act like it's insane for you to just buck the system and create your own opportunities, well, they need to take a history lesson, because people survive like this for thousands of years. This whole corporation thing hasn't been around that long. So just realize you have options. That's the key. And when you talk about overcoming the racism from the Supreme Court and the affirmative action issue and all that, create your own affirmative action. Because here's the thing, here's the secret. White people have created affirmative action for themselves for hundreds of years. When you go to look at the Supreme Court and you see how every single person on the Supreme Court attended Harvard or Yale University at some point in their career. The only one, from what I understand, the only one who didn't graduate from Harvard was or Yale was Ginsburg, and Ginsburg attended Harvard. She just transferred to Columbia because her husband made a move to New York. I guess that's back when the husbands could make their wives do stuff. I don't know, but not that I agree with that at all. But the point of the matter is that that's an affirmative action program. Harvard University has a hell of an affirmative action program for their graduates. They give them access to the White House and access to powerful positions in certain institutions and all this other stuff. So the thing about it is, though, that their affirmative action program is controlled by them. It's controlled by them. They make the decision of who's going to benefit from their program and who's not. Black people must create our own affirmative action program. And the way you create it is you own the institution that's giving access to people that want to get inside. Do you understand? If I own the business, I own my company. I have my own affirmative action program. You don't think my daughter and my daughter's friends and my homies don't get hooked up a little bit? You don't think I hook up and work with the people around me? That's the affirmative action program that we need. We need a program like that. One that is more powerful, one that delivers on a much higher level, and one that is controlled by us. So create your own damn affirmative action program. Stop begging white people for everything. They're getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of it too. It's time for us to build something of our own. Don't get me wrong. We know what white people did. We know that they're never coming around as a collective. They may come around maybe 50 years from now when you and I are dead or something. But they're not coming around anytime soon. And when it comes to protecting you and your family, you build something for your family. Don't go out here begging and borrowing and hoping for the best and praying and holding candlelight vigils, praying that the white man's going to be nice to you. Because unfortunately, you live in a society where the people who control that society only respect power. And if you keep bowing down, laying down, and playing dead, they will walk up to you and they will kick you in your face. Bottom line, I got to go. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye-bye.